Hello everyone. In this video, I would like to discuss with you structure of a C program. This can be understood like if you are a beginner of learning C, so you can understand this as how do you start writing up simple C programs. So let us look at this outline or the structure of a C program. If you look at here, okay, you can see at the top you could able to see it is a documentation section. So you will find the structure of a C program on Google or any textbook if you refer. So fine. So what this documentation section is in fact. So this documentation section will gives you the details about the program. So means it will talk about what you are actually doing inside the program. For example, if you are writing a simple C program for the addition of two numbers, so in the documentation section, you have to write that this program or this C program is for the addition of two numbers. Or if you are writing a program for factorial of a given number, you have to write that. So that will give the brief idea what exactly the program is doing. In fact, the documentation section is not for the sake of the developer. The documentation section is for the sake of the readers. So when someone look at your program, he could able to understand by looking at the documentation section itself. Oh, this guy is developing this program. So then we have this link section. Here you try to link the mostly we say header files needed for the program. Header files needed. You say if you look at the this documentation section in textbook or in Google, you see that link section will have start with the symbol hash. So mostly it starts with the symbol hash, include stdio.h, conio.h or string.h, malloc or calloc.h. So these are the header files which have the definitions or the prototypes of the predefined functions which will be used in the due course of time. So when you start learning the concepts of C language, you try to write these C programs. There you will be using many predefined functionalities, which predefined functions which are developed by the compilers. So to link up those definitions with your current program, you try to write this linking section or link section where you try to link the header files which contains the definitions of the predefined functions that you are going to use inside the C program. So we will see with an example. So then definition section. So this section is mostly if user is defining any user defined functions. So this will have user defined function definitions. Function definitions, that also we will see at the beginning. You may not write all this stuff. Okay, once if you learn the concept of functions, there you can experience declaration and calling up a function. There you will be writing the definition of the user defined function. We expect the definitions to be outside the main. And global variables, the variables that are used throughout the program, the variables that are used throughout the program may be declared and assigned in this area. That also initially we won't experience. In fact, what initially we experience is this part. So later on we write main function. Within the main we say it is a local variables declarations and the statements which you would like to execute. So executable part may contains the instructions to the computer. Instructions, we say instructions. Mostly the instructions ends with semicolon. Right, again we have different types of instructions. In fact, we will discuss all of them in the due course. So we have sequence control instructions, selection or decision control instructions, loop or repetitive control instructions, case control instructions, and then unconditional jump statements. So we have different types of instructions. So initially we write only sequence control instructions. So then, yeah, as I said earlier, yeah, you can see, you can write the definitions either at the lower part of the main function, I mean outside the main function, or at the top of the main function, at the bottom of the main function or at the top of the main function. So what is the point, is, so initially, because though it seems to be very lengthy, the structure of a C program, but mostly we will be writing only like this. So main, we will write the instructions to be executed, and then we will close this. So in fact, so before this main, people will add, see, your teacher will say it is int main, and he says let it be return 0. We will see why it is. Let me discuss. So for example, we will see with an example, simple C program. Let us take a simple C program and try to understand. So what, among these sections, which sections are compulsory? See, so let me tell you. Um, Yeah, documentation section, is it compulsory? No, it is not a compulsory section. So this is for the user understanding we write. Link section, provided if you are not using any predefined functions, uh, predefined functions, link section is compulsory. You have to write, because in case of simple C program also we make use of the printf. The prototype of the printf is in the header file stdio.h. So in the worst case also we need at least stdio.h header file. So link section is, though it is not compulsory, but if you are using predefined functions, then you have to write that link section also. Definition section, it's not compulsory. Global variable declaration section, it is not compulsory, but the main is compulsory. Open curly brace is compulsory, and if you have instructions, it's okay. Otherwise, closed curly brace of this main is compulsory. And subprograms, user defined functions, if at all there, you will write. Otherwise, okay, initially they are not compulsory. So we will see what are the sections which are compulsory and which are not compulsory. Let me write. So I would like to go with, say, documentation section. So we say documentation section. So for example, write a C program to add two numbers, add any two numbers, let it be. We say documentation section, normally it is not meant for the compiler. So we say it is comment lines. We write the documentation section in comment lines. You can see forward slash followed by the star, star followed by the forward slash. Um, I don't think it is forward slash. It is backward slash. Okay. So let me erase it. Yeah. So is it forward slash? Yes. Write a program to add two numbers. Fine. So yeah, in C language, these are called comment lines. So if you place the text in between this forward slash followed by star and star followed by the forward slash, fine. So of course, in C++ we use double slash as a comment line, but it is a single line comment. We call it as single line comment. Of course, if you are using Linux flavor of operating system, the these multi-line comments and single line comments both can be used in the program. So I have written, and then it is over. Then link section. So addition of two numbers needs certain header files. So I will include this, at least stdio.h. This stdio.h works like a dictionary. When compiler is compiling the program, if it finds any instruction whose meaning is unknown, then it will refer to this dictionary. For example, the program which we are going to write will be using printf and scanf. Those definitions are not directly known to the C compiler. In such a case, it will open this dictionary and it will find what kind of prototype it is, and from there onwards it could able to link up its definition. So because in C language, C compiler knows directly straight away only C language keywords. The rest of the instructions not directly understood by the compiler. For the sake of them, we have to include this link section. So however, I can skip the definition section and global variable declaration section, but let me go with say int main. Why this int main? Now I will tell you. So this open curly brace is structure of a C program. Main is compulsory, so you have to write it. Of course, main also will take the parameters we will discuss in the due course. And yeah, open curly brace, if you have declarations for the variables, say you don't know what declaration is, so let it be int a comma b. It is a statement. Every statement in C language ends with semicolon. So let me scan these values. We write printf enter a comma b. What is printf and scanf, I will tell you in the next tutorial. So let it be percentile d ampersand a comma ampersand b. So I will perform the operation. All these are instructions, and then I will print this C. The result is, I say, percentile d C. Fine. So we write return 0. Fine. So let me explain you what are these instructions actually. So what I am doing is I would like to add two numbers. So I want to scan these two numbers from the keyboard. I will explain in brief about the scanf in the next tutorial. So I will be scanning the AB values from the keyboard. So once if I enter two values from the keyboard, the values will be taken and the values will be placed in the computer memory, whose memory location is A, whose memory location is B. So for example, let me enter 4 and 6, and these both are added and will be placed in the memory location, say 10. That is the reason why the moment when you enter this value from the keyboard, that will be placed in the address of A, and that also will be placed in the address of B. That is the reason why we go with this. And is printf is compulsory, it is optional. Yes, printf is here to print the a showcase message to the um, user of the program, such that he has to enter the values of two variables. Otherwise it's okay. If you are aware of what you are scanning, without this display message also you can scan it. Fine. So all these are in fact the sequence control instructions executed one after other, in which the order you have written. Fine. Then I said so what is compulsory here is the open curly brace and closed curly brace is compulsory, and int main is compulsory. Now why int again? In interviews you may be asked, so why the main function has return type int? In fact, what happens is when program is executing, the operating system will allocate memory for the program. So imagine that all together. I will go in detailed discussion on the memory allocation for the C program in the coming tutorials. Now, for example, for this add.c program, say it has taken let it be say 1000 KB of memory is allocated. This is memory. So what does it mean? Why this int main and return 0? That's what I would like to explain now. So, so what happens when the program is under execution? So for example, because of some reason, say the program got stuck here. So the control is not coming to execute this printf anymore. Means program not successfully executed, not completed, but because of some reason, maybe power failure or something like say memory problem or some technical error or some hardware damage. So because of some reason, the program has got stuck at certain a point inside the program or at certain instruction. Then what happened? The operating system come to know that the program has some issue, it is not completed its execution, so it will not free the memory allocated for this program. That's what the operating system will be doing. So whenever the program returns a value, this value goes to the operating system, because we will executing this main function. So execution starts from the main in the C program. So we will do that. Executor belongs to operating system. So he initiates the execution of C program from the main. So when C program successfully completes its execution, it returns a value. The value must be caught by the operating system. So when operating system returns the value 0 from the program, then operating system come to know that the program has got executed and the execution is successful. Then it can free the memory. Then it can free the memory allocated for the program, so that the memory can be given to other applications. That was the notion of writing int prior to the main, and then at last the program will return a 0. 0 means the program is successfully completed. On success, the program will return value 0, so that the operating system can free the memory which has been allocated for this program, so that this memory can be given for the rest of the applications parallelly getting executed inside the program. So guys, this is what the structure of a C program. So we write this return 0 and int for this purpose, and we come to know that some sections are compulsory and some sections are optional. So we will write all the sections of a C program once we complete the all the learning of the concepts of all the concepts of C program, C language. Okay guys, so that's what the structure of a C program and how to write a simple C program. And what else to be known is how to write the printf, what are this int and a comma b, how to declare the variables, and what are the input output functions. So how do you do operations, how do you print the values on screen. So the explanation related to each instruction written on screen we will see one after another in the coming tutorials. Thank you guys.